Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is episode 281 of the world famous, the University of Love. Ladies and gentlemen, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But you and I, people, we just call it Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Today is Sunday, May the 16th, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you today? Good. Good. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you a funny story. All right. Now, yesterday, I've said this on the podcast before. I think I talked about this week, as a matter of fact. I talked about the time I tried to do some research and I spent a couple $100 on this program that a guy that I knew was a part of. And it turns out it was pretty much a scam, pretty much a hoax. It was one of those fake traffic package kind of deals. But the I mean, it's a classic. It's a classic example of a pyramid scheme. But nonetheless, I checked it out. I wrote about it. You know, had one guy write me. He said, "Man, thanks for writing the article because I was going to sign up, but I didn't." So I said, "Well, if I can help one person, it's it's a pretty cool thing." So that was cool, and I haven't seen the guy in a long time. Not the guy that wrote me, but my I can't use the word friend, but the guy I knew from high school, you know, I was like, what is this scoundrel up to? So I looked him up, and sure enough, bada bing, bada boom, he has a new scam. He's like, hey guys, I watched like 2 minutes of the video, and it's like, hey, I'm telling you, you got to jump on this opportunity. And I'm like, this guy, this is his whole thing now, I guess, because he's like, oh, I made this amount of money in this month, but that stuff is because the reason that you don't want to be one of these carnival barkers like the guy that I know is, well, for one, you know if you came to me, you know you and I, we were talking, and you said, hey, I'm in this business, this is the greatest. Let's say if you were selling socks, okay, and you say, man, listen, I got this sock business, these are the greatest socks you could ever have. I'm like, okay, I got you. Then if you come back a month later, call you up or whatever and say, hey, how's that sock business? Ah, F them socks, man, I'm on to something new. What? Sneakers. Listen, I got the greatest shoes. Let me tell you about them. You know, if somebody came to you every month with a new thing, and they was like, "This is the greatest thing ever," after a while, you be like, "Listen, man, are you the boy that cried wolf or what?" Because this is ridiculous. So although yes, you want to find something that you can profit of, that you can make money on for yourself, but at the same time, you want to be in business for as long as possible. You want to be in business for a long time. You don't want to, because now, because if this guy came to me and said, "Hey, man, I have this opportunity. I don't care what the opportunity is," I would be like, I don't think so. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be legit. Doesn't matter at this point. Why? Because I've seen him too many times in the last 3 years with the opportunity. He went from, see, he was doing cars. Then he went to, yeah, he went from cars. Then he went to some kind of insurance. And then he went to like some kind of credit repair. And then that was the greatest thing of all time. And now he's on these, hey man, get this traffic package and all this kind of stuff. It's like, you don't want to shoot your credibility in the foot. It's like in being in a relationship. You are in a relationship, and you know you make, I'm not gonna say make a mistake, you make poor decisions. Let's say you cheat on your spouse, or you cheat on your girl, your significant other, whatever. You know, they might forgive you, but they don't forget. And you can corrupt, you can corrode, and you can erode a relationship by doing the same thing over and over, And then one day when it hits you, you're like, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. And you're not actually doing it. And they go, I believe you're cheating on me. You can't get mad. You can't get upset. You know what I mean? So like this guy, if I say, hey man, every program I've seen you in, man, it's been kind of sketchy. And he's like, what? And I'm like, it is what it is, man. This is how it is. So you want to avoid, you know, this is why you don't want to hop, because of course you're gonna try things out. Don't get me wrong, but the one thing that you don't want, try them out in silence. Okay, try things out. Do some research. See where it thinks it might take you, and then go for it. You know what I mean? But every time you jump on something new, you don't have to tell the world. You don't have to, bark about it. And it doesn't have to be the greatest thing of all time. Because we all know, hey man, listen, we are all on the internet for a reason. We all want to make money. I know a lot of people like, oh no, this is my passion. Come on, man. We we want to make money. Yeah. I mean, like I said before, I love doing a podcast. I love you guys. I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy this. I've really, really enjoyed this more than what I thought. Like I thought this is gonna be, a chore labor, but no, it's love. I love doing it. But at the same time, you definitely gonna know, hey man, I'm here to make money. You know what I mean? Like, people say, I would play basketball for free. No, you wouldn't. Yeah, I would go outside right now and play basketball all day long. But if I was in the NBA, you gotta travel, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta come to practice. Yeah, you want to get paid. You want to get compensated. You see all these people in the crowd. Of course, you want to get paid. Come on. Yeah, they love basketball or whatever, but you want to get paid. Just like, yeah, I love doing this podcast and I enjoy doing it. And I mean, right now, I am the first month is definitely love because you are doing it for free. But as the months go on, in a couple of years, I'm going to be looking to try to get the most I can, when it comes to advertising and all that kind of stuff out of the podcast. So, you know, yeah, we want to make money, but try to do it in an ethical way. Don't be just a scoundrel because, and eventually, it's like selling drugs. Selling drugs sounds cool and all, but eventually, you're either gonna get killed or you're gonna go to jail. Pick one and then do it. You know what I mean? Like, now I worked at a prison. There was many people in there for selling drugs. I knew a guy, he sold weed and he got 35 years. I'm like, 35, 35 years. That's a lot. That's a lot of time. Like, you don't want to do that. And you don't want to, because after a while, people see you, and like I said, it doesn't matter. Because if you start your own program, because eventually I'm going to get off the affiliate marketing and I'm going to, tell people, hey, I got this program, maybe a course or something. Who knows? But I don't want my credibility to be shot all to hell because they like, hey, I've seen this guy in it all the time. He's a clown. You know what I mean? Like he'll sell you anything. He'll sell you his mother's purse from 1982 for $1. Like, come on. So be careful about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? You don't want to be one of those people because then I looked him up. Then I looked up the lady that he was working with, and then I said, I bet she's doing the exact same thing. And ding, 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 winner, chicken dinner. She was like, hey guys, it's me. I'm doing this, blah, 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 blah. It's after a while, it's like, come on, man. And then they all have the same kind of scheme, They're like, hey, if you write something nice on me on one of my YouTube videos, and I'll write something back about you on your YouTube videos. It's like, man, come on, man. That's another reason why I couldn't get with those folks because I'm not doing all that, man. Like when you produce content, you want people. It's better to because your friends and family. Yeah, I mean, yeah, support, but at the end of the day, you it's in my opinion. I'm better off going the way that I went because for me, if I would have told my brother, "Hey man, listen to my podcast," and if I would told all my, hey man, listen to my podcast, all they're gonna do is call me all the time and talk to me about the podcast, which I really don't want to hear from them about the podcast. Like if somebody has some criticism, somebody has some constructive criticism, fine, I can listen to that. But I don't really want my friends and family just listening to the podcast because it's not really, to me. It's not valid. It's not validation. You know what I mean? Like I told you, my friend, my buddy Mark, he wrote me a nice note about listening to the podcast and everything. Like that's what I'm looking for. Like I'm looking for real listeners. I'm looking for people that find the podcast. Like of course you got to promote it. You got to go on the different things and all that. But this has been a very genuine. This has been a very, for me, hard working, fulfilling thing because we're not really advertising the podcast. I'm just you know in the outside world. I'm just a nobody doing a podcast. But when you find it, you discover it, and you realize, hey man, this guy is actually good at doing this, and then you're like, hey, I want to listen more and more and more and see what's going to happen. And for me, that's better than saying, hey man, hey guys, go like this, go like my page, go like this, go like that. And sometimes I say go to the Facebook page and all this stuff, but you know I drop it in every now and then, but it's not like I'm gonna beat you over the head every day about it. No, listen to the podcast and take from it what you want, and then eventually, once you fall in love with me, you'll go to the Facebook page and everywhere else and like and follow and all that good stuff. No, I'm just kidding, but you know what I mean. Like it's I don't know, like YouTube. Like I know a lot of people that are like, oh, go to my YouTube page and like it, and so I can weigh more of the algorithms and all that. Who got time for that? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of cheapy to me. I don't, I want my victory to be, you know, call me crazy, but I want my victory to be non-HGH. I don't want the big Barry Bonds head when I when I hit my victory. You know what I mean? Like, hey, these people listen. I mean, we're big in the UK, you know what I mean? And Australia. So there you go. That's something. A guy from Atlanta, Georgia has somebody writing him from Australia. So, the world with the internet, the world has gotten smaller. You can reach out to more people in a whole different level. 25 years ago, I wouldn't even be, I'd be like, how do I I would try to get on the radio, but they probably would be like, man, do you got a degree? I would say no. And they would say, well, get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, you do what's best for you. But, if you want to, if you want a sustainable entity, you want a sustainable, company, you want a sustainable, whatever content, then, you know, do it the right way. Don't be hey man, this is the greatest thing this week, and that was the greatest thing next week, and the week after that. Because after a while, when you do find something that you really want to do, or you find something that you really want to sell, by that time you bankrupt all your, you bankrupt your trust and your credibility, and that's the one thing that you don't want to do with anybody or anything. You know what I mean? So, but ladies and gentlemen, right now we are going to discuss seeing seeing a vision. You know what I mean? Now, we talk about this, we talk about all this stuff a lot. You know, everything we talk about is pertaining to business, pertaining to you doing the thing that you want to do, doing the things that can get you, if you're looking to get away from your job, you're looking to make more money, you're looking for some time, or whatever your goal is, whatever, the thing that you want to do is, be the greatest, YouTuber of all time, whatever it is you want to do. Try to right now, let's all of us, you, me, everybody, let's all close our eyes and for 5 seconds, just think about what you truly, just pick you a spot, pick you whatever, and and for 5-10 seconds, we'll visualize together and see where we want to be. All right. Now, at the count of three, I'm gonna say one, two, three, and then we all close our eyes and then we all visualize for a good 10 seconds. All right. One, two, three. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that was 10 seconds. That is what we call radio silence. They say that's a no-no, but here at the Online Marketing Moves podcast, we really don't, we do things the unconventional way. So, anyway, what was your vision? What did you see? What did you see yourself at? What did you see yourself doing? Now, I will tell you where I saw myself. I saw myself in an RV with my wife and my baby, and I saw us driving through Montana going to Oregon. That's what I see. That's what I want. That's what I would like to do. That's what I would love to do. I would love to do the podcast. Now, if you want to go back, if you ever want to go back and listen to the podcast in the first month, I recommend you listen to one, at least one. Listen to the intro. Listen to the first 2 or 3 minutes, and you will hear a guy saying he's coming to you live from parts unknown. I think I recorded anywhere from Texas to Pennsylvania and all points in between. And nothing would make me more excited than being in the RV with my wife. And I would say, my wife, she likes to sleep in late. So, of course, I would wake up early and I would say, honey, I got to go record. Because my wife knows now that I'm very serious about this. And, she sleep right now and I'm recording because it's Sunday morning. And, I could see myself doing that. And that would make me happy. And I would definitely be like, I saw this vision and, we're making this come true. And we're definitely working on that. And we talked about this yesterday, don't live in the future, but you want to have a vision. It's a very, slippery slope, you know. It, and I have a friend, we have this discussion all the time. I say, because, he's like, things things most things are not black and white. It's like gray. And I'm like, this is true. Because I have a family member who is like, things are just black and white. I'm like, no, everything's not black and white. Everything can't be black and white. Like there's, you have to be on the fence about things. I'll give you an example. For me, when it comes to like, never mind. We won't. We'll stick to the vision part. You know what I mean? But you want to have a vision. Now we'll get into it. Like for me, like when it comes to abortion, we can talk about this. When it comes to abortion, I'll tell you the black, white, and gray area. For me, abortion, I personally, like if somebody was like, if I got a woman pregnant, like if my wife got pregnant, if she was my girlfriend at the time, this is our first few months of dating, and she was like, I'm pregnant. Me personally, if she was like, I don't know what to do, I would say, let's keep the baby and let's figure it out. Because personally, I don't think I could live with myself if we just went to a clinic and aborted the baby. But now, you know, other people, if I'm, outside looking in, I'm like, hey man, that's up to you, like I don't judge. Like I don't think nothing bad about anybody that gets an abortion. But for me personally, I say no. But, somebody's situation is different and they're like, well, I don't want it. Then it's like, all right, you do what you do, but you know, so I say yes to the world, but if I was involved, I would say no. So, my cousin, he's like, oh, things are just black and white. I'm like, no, things are gray. It's it's just how it is. Like everything's not black and white. But anyway, so you have this vision. You know what I mean? And you want to live in the present. You want to be present, but at the same time, you also want to make sure, like, whenever I get up, whenever I do, and today, of course, because I can only speak from, the only eyes I can tell you about are my own. So, you know, we've had this discussion before. I know I don't want to really always be like me, 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 but when it comes to us talking about, business and us talking about things. I can't talk about. I can't tell you how my wife feels about her running her school. I can only tell you what she tells me. But so my perspective is gonna be different. You might have a different one, but so I have to put it in first person sometimes. But the vision that you have, yes, you need to have a vision, but you don't want to live in that vision. You don't want to always be thinking about it. Think about different ways that you can get to that vision, but be in the present. Do the things that do the things that you have to do in order to get to that vision. Okay. And so, be in the present, just like right now. We are in the present. You are listening to this podcast. Listen to this podcast, then go out and do what you have to do. Do what you need to do to get to the place that you want to go. So have that vision, but at the same time, live in the present moment. I know it sounds crazy, but it's just what you have to do. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy that vision trip down to wherever you want to go. And wherever you want to go, I hope it's cool. I have a couple different places I would like to go. One, the RV, and the other, I would like to go. I would like to be at the beach quite often. But anyway, we will get there. All right. Keep listening to these episodes so we can get there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the program. That's it for today. We will be back tomorrow with the all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Zano. Thank you for listening. And as always, everybody, peace.